Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashmita and I hope you all are doing well. And today's review video is going to be a little different because firstly, this is going to be a single take video. I won't be like editing out anything because I don't have my system, but temporary fix is getting arranged. It's getting arranged. So probably I'll have the temporary replacement by evening or tomorrow, hopefully. Yes, fingers crossed. My own system, that is completely like ruined. It's gone for repair, so I don't know how long it's going to take. So I couldn't be not sharing reactions and reviews for a very long time. I don't want to do that. I don't want to keep a very long gap. So yes, at least I will have the temporary replacement soon. So anyway, before I start the review, this is of course, like I said, going to be a single take video and I'll directly upload it from my phone. So not going to be like a very flowy kind of video like usually how my review videos are, with snippets from the film, stills from the film that I show, but it's just you'll have to bear my face for the full video. You have to tolerate that. So yes, so I will be sharing my thoughts for Churali, which I watched yesterday, and the way I'm going to sort of compartmentalize this video is that first I will talk about overall what I felt for this movie, then I will move on to the story, writing and direction, basically story, narration and direction, then the technical aspects like cinematography, sound design and all of that, editing, and finally the performances. That's usually the format I follow with all my review videos. So yes, let's just start. Alright, so first, did I like the movie or not? I actually did, and it's very interesting because I'll be very honest, I didn't understand the movie fully. The movie can be interpreted in a lot of ways, like how I'm watching and what conclusions I'm drawing from this movie. Probably that's not going to be the case for you guys, and I think that's what Lijjo Jose Pellicer wanted. And this is my third film of his. I've actually watched MIU, so the review for that will also be up next week. But since this was the latest release, I wanted to discuss, of course, Churali first. So overall, yes, like I said, I really enjoyed the movie, and it's really interesting for me because, like I said, I didn't understand the film completely, and it probably require another viewing from my end to really grasp that, okay, in the first viewing this is what I caught, but in the second viewing, okay, these are the extra things that I understood. So I think that is going to happen with multiple viewings, but usually what happens is that when a movie is very different in its genre and intelligent, so to speak, because you are not being spoon fed, there are clues here and there, and then you are free to interpret the scenes as you want to. So when a movie is like that, which confuses you a little, at least for me, sometimes what happens is that it takes me out from the film a little bit, and I keep thinking, okay, I'm not able to understand, so it's a little bit frustrating, and then my concentration wavers. But surprisingly, for this film, it did not happen. It's like a 2-hour film, and when the movie got over, I was like, okay, the film is over. I didn't even realize how the ending came about. So that was really interesting, and I think that's a big credit to the editor and the narration style, where the movie really kept me hooked. And the clues were sort of placed in such smart ways that when I was thinking about the previous clue, that okay, this thing happened, so it could mean something, and then suddenly one more incident happened. So that way the movie was extremely engaging for me. And the thing is that the storyline, the context and the setup is very simple. So you have these two police officers, which is played by Vinay Fogt and Chemban Vinod. So they are in hunt of this criminal who's called Joy, and Shahjeevan and Anthony, which are not their real names. So they go to this place called Churali to hunt him down, basically. And they have this information, they have been given this information that he's hiding there. And I was like, okay, so this is the pretty simple, storyline, but knowing LJP, it's going to take a wacky turn. And the trailer, when I first reacted to the trailer, it was insane. It was insane. I was like, okay, this has like this horrorish, supernatural kind of feel, and the movie actually takes you for a ride. Like, you will not even realize that, okay, you are in a complete trance. And at one point of time, I completely felt something is happening to me. It's like hypnosis. It's literally like hypnosis. And that's a really big credit to a lot of things together, not just the direction and the narration, sound design also, cinematography and all of that. But overall, my verdict is that I enjoyed watching the film because of the way it was paced, the turn of events, what was happening, even though I did not understand. And honestly, I was watching it on my phone, so I definitely want to watch it on a little bigger screen, so the experience would be very, very different. But yes, I have my own theories. We'll discuss that. You can definitely, a couple of scenes, I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but couple of scenes I definitely want to discuss, and I want to share my thoughts that, okay, this is what I think. So I am giving you a spoiler warning, because honestly, for this movie, I would suggest, if you have not watched it, then I don't actually want to delve into, even like, I don't want to give you out any spoilers, so you should click off from this video at this moment, because it's better to go into this movie without any spoilers whatsoever. So let's first talk about the narration and the direction style, the writing basically. The way this movie is written in terms of the storytelling, it's extremely firstly, it's not spoon fed to you. There are clues which are placed, and I said, like, it's open to interpretation. So that I really liked. This was something I expected from Lee Jojo's Pellicer. This is something I really, really expected from him, and he has not disappointed me. Then I love that it reminded me a little bit of Jallikattu in terms of, I'll tell you why, in terms of dealing with the human emotions, because it is said that when you are entering Churuli is a place where there is no law. You can do whatever the hell you want, and Lee Jojo's Pellicer really plays on that emotion, that when you are in the place, when you are inhabiting a place where you can do whatever the hell you want, no law applies over there, then what is that basic primal nature of that person? So that aspect, the way the human beings and the way the interactions were happening in the story, it sort of reminded me of Jallikattu a bit, because in Jallikattu it's like the conclusion was that human beings itself, they are the animals, not the other way around. Human beings are the actual wild animals, which I really like. The most primal nature of human beings, how they behave when they are at, they have this survival instinct, how they behave. And Churuli is a place where nobody is a saint. People come to Churuli because they are not a saint. They have committed something bad, and that is why they are seeking solace in that place. That's how this place has been described. When the movie starts, there is this beautiful animation. I fell in love with that animation and that storytelling. It completely sets up the context. You will not understand where this foreshadowing happens. Of course, as the movie progresses, by the end only you get to realize, okay, what, this folklore kind of story is being told at the beginning. This is a foreshadowing for, okay, this particular aspect. The animation was beautiful. I loved it. It gave me the creeps. And I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, what is going to happen? Because I was completely recalling the trailer that I had watched, and that had also given me the creeps. So the way it starts completely grabbed my attention, and I was totally invested with that animation itself. I was totally invested, and I said, okay, what is going to happen? Let's see. Another thing which really impressed me is that when they're crossing, there's the scene that I'm going to discuss now. When they're crossing, that makeshift bridge, that's how you can only get into Churuli, because you have to cross that bridge with that jeep. the way once everybody crosses, initially everybody is interacting with each other, they are nice, they're smiling, but the moment that jeep crosses over, all the people, the behavior just changes. I think that was the moment, first time in the film, that took me by surprise. I said, what is happening? I rewinded that scene probably 2 to 3 times to ensure that I did not miss anything. Is something happening? Am I missing some detail in the cinematography that while this jeep is trying to cross that makeshift bridge? Because why the behavior is changing like that suddenly? Then, of course, as the movie progresses, I could deduce something because like I said, it's completely open to interpretation. But the shock value which that scene gave me, I think it's one of my favorite scenes in the film. It's one of my absolute favorite scenes in the film. I love the writing. So you see how in writing, while the movie is progressing, you understand that this place is definitely, just not the human beings. There's something, I wouldn't say paranormal, I would say something extraterrestrial which is happening. Because when these two people, Shahjivan and Anthony, when they are going to Churuli, they ask this person like how to get to Churuli, and then at the background, somebody is discussing that, aliens have abducted, and all of that extraterrestrial talk is happening, and people laugh it off. But when this same particular thing is discussed with Jafar Idduki, there's a dialogue between Jafar Idduki and Vinay Fort, when Vinay Fort sees something at night, that fireball thingy that it passes over. Jafar Idduki doesn't laugh at him, he acknowledges it, and he treats it like it's the most normal thing that has happened. He said, oh, this has happened to me also, right? So you know that there is some extraterrestrial thing which is happening over there, and the people that are staying, this is my interpretation, that the people that are staying over there, they are not really free in their mind. Something, whenever there is a threat to that place, some extraterrestrial thing is controlling their mind. Because I don't know, I'm making this deduction, there are so many scenes where you see all of them together in sync, they close their eyes and they open their eyes. You know that something has possessed them, they are not in their free complete senses at that point of time. I mean, you guys can let me know your theories. So that is one thing. And the way it has been shown, so I feel that's one thing. And the second thing is that there are clues and there are dialogues, like that old lady when she says to Vinay Fort that I've seen you before. And there is one more scene where a guy says to Vinay Fort, how many times are they going to come to catch this person? What these kind of dialogues suggested me, that they have been there before, they just don't remember it. And there is a time loop which is playing, because there are visuals of that clock and the time thingy. So there is some space-time, sciencey stuff which is happening over there. And they are definitely in a time loop where at the end when you see, so this is complete spoilers, guys. At the end when you see that car going into that big moon, and that everything goes blank and you see that one white strip over there, I feel that again the loop starts, and these two will again go back to Churuli and they'll not remember anything basically. So I definitely feel that there's this time loop which is there and it's continuously playing, and that is the foreshadowing that the initial animation story did. So all of these things, I fell in love with that. Another thing about the writing is that in terms of, because I was only depending on the subtitles, there is a lot of aggression, like the dialogues. I feel that the dialogues are very, very primal in nature, if I should put it that way. There's a lot of cussing which is happening. People are violent, aggressive. Like, nobody talks nicely in the movie. Nobody talks nicely. Even though there's a smile on their face, you know that there is a sense of aggression. I think, every person is trying to assert their dominance over the other. I felt that. Even there are not many female characters in the film, but they are also hell aggressive. It's not like, they are being, just because they're women, and because the men are, when they are talking, they talk about the very basic instinct, animalistic stuff, and but the women are also like that. So, and there are reference to sexual abuse and stuff like that. So that is something that I didn't get really. I don't know what happened, because there is another scene where Chemban Vinod, Anthony, he recovers from his spinal injury, and then when they're leaving, that lady comes in, shouting and screaming at Shahjeevan Vinay Fort's character that, oh, what did you do with that kid? I don't know. I just couldn't, I have to watch it again to really see where this actually connects. If I probably am pretty sure I've missed it. I mean, this is just my first viewing, so that is why I'm pretty sure somebody else would have caught that. But there are so many such things in the writing that dealt with human behavior, that dealt with something extraordinary. It was amazing. I was completely hooked and engaged, even though I was like, what is going on? But I was happy watching the film. And I was happy also theorizing, my theories that, okay, it means, probably this scene means that. And one of the really nice surprises that I got was, I didn't know Jojo George and Sobhan Shahir was also part of the film. So their roles are very, very brief, but so beautiful. Like in Jojo George's scene, when he enters, he's all aggressive and all of that, and he's shouting at the top of his voice. And when Vinay Fort pulls out his gun, suddenly, I mean, you just watch that scene, he becomes so meek, and he's just, saying, I'm really sorry. Like that. I love Jojo George anyway. I love his acting. And Sobhan Shahir also was amazing. Very, very small roles, but so freaking impactful. I think the direction, for me, I think the narration and direction definitely wins in this case. Though I don't know about the cussing and all of that. There's a lot of cussing, and I don't know how people would feel about it. But that is I think LJP's point of view that he's putting, that I feel that this is how people behave when they have, no supervision whatsoever. There is no law that they have to abide by. What do you guys think? I think that is something where I thought personally that maybe there could be a conflict, and people would say that no, this was a little bit too much. So share your thoughts on that. Then, but overall, the way he directed this film, I think for all the three movies, I feel that even though it has that LJP flavor, all the three, like Jallikattu, MIU and this film, they are so different from each other. Even though all three films talk about the human nature at heart, but they are so different from each other. I love it. And the way, because I think Chiroli kept me more hooked, because there is this really nice horror element that is attached to it. And I really love when there are 2-3 genres which are, blended together. Because when the context is set up, you would think that, oh, this is like an investigative thriller film. That is probably going to be how the movie is projected to us. But it's not. Then, so that's about the storyline and the narration, writing. You can share your theories about this film. What was your interpretation in the comments below? I want to now come to the technical aspects. Now, even though I watched this film on my mobile phone, the cinematography is insane. It's insane. I don't have no words. Which is this place where this movie was shot, because it was beautiful, but it also gave me the creeps for some reason. I loved the way the wide angle top shots, they are so freaking creepy. The forest shots, there is this scene where Chemban Vinod and Vinay Fort, they get lost, and it's so dark. I was like, what is going to happen? I was looking at my phone like this, honestly, I'm telling you. So many beautiful scenes, absolutely freaking amazing cinematography, top notch. That's why I said I want to watch it on a little bigger screen, because that's when I'll be able to appreciate it more. But on my phone also, I could see how well this movie has been shot. There are scenes where you feel completely trippy, and when I said initially that, as the story progresses, you feel that you are getting hypnotized by the storyline, you're getting hypnotized by this movie. I think the biggest credit goes to the way this movie has been shot, the cinematography, especially where Vinay Fogt, gets all these visions and sees weird things. Though I feel, just I wanna just give a call back to the writing. See, this is what happens when you're doing a single take review, because then you remember something. Because when I write it down in a proper format, it's much more organized. I feel Vinay Fogt, before entering Churuli, there's a scene where he is looking at something. He sees something. I think he sees that extraterrestrial force that is eventually going to control him in Churuli, because there is one more scene where he looks into the mirror and he gives that evilish laugh, because I feel that was not Vinay Fogt and he was possessed by this power, and this power killed that guy when that slapping contest was happening. That's my theory, that Vinay Fogt was, for a very long time, he was sort of getting possessed by this the extraterrestrial force, because he was much more inquisitive, that okay, how many people are there, this and that, like how Chaman Vinod's character was very chill and he was trying to blend in with the crowd and all of that, but Vinay Fogt was more of a threat. So that's why that just came in my mind. Anyway, coming back to cinematography, the final shot when all of them are trying to get out of this place and they sort of get lost, it is so freaking beautiful. I think that's my favorite shot in the film, the final shot with the spiral and those fireflies. Those fireflies are only, I think, also extraterrestrial. I feel that, and this spiral thing will come again and again and again. It's incredible. I was really like mesmerized watching this film. And the final shot within the car, not the aerial shot, the final shot when they are going into that big moon. I don't know, man. That shot got over and I was looking at my phone. It's over? What just happened? Like, I had to snap myself back to reality. I said, how the hell this movie managed to do that? It was amazing. Let me know, what was your experience, like viewing experience? Not just trying to decode the storyline, but just overall viewing experience. I would love to know that. Then you have the sound design. It was a chef's kiss. Again, the sound design reminded me of Jallikattu because of the forest sounds. So well done, and that, in between that horror kind of thing, that was, oh my goodness, incredible. Sound design was out of this world, and I was like having very good quality headphones and I was watching this film. I got creeped out. I think that's why I was more creeped out while watching the film, because I was so invested, because how well the sound has been engineered in couple of scenes where you really have to create an impact, and this is really, LJP knows where to utilize his sounds. He has done so well, and I don't know who did the sound design. I did write it down, but I wrote it. Sriraj Shaji. I have my notes in down. So Sriraj Shaji, I want to applaud this person. He has done an incredible job. I cannot, praise him enough. I loved the sound design of this film. Everything was on point. Then coming to the editing, it goes parallelly with the narration and direction, because like I said, I was hooked, mesmerized, I think I was under some hypnotic control, and that's how the movie has been edited really well, how the scenes have been just put together, from one scene to other. The jump was also great. It was fluid, and that's why I feel that even though I did not understand a lot of it, I still overall sort of got it. I don't know how they ensured that, okay, this is how the scenes are going to flow, so that the audience are a little bit confused also, but they stay hooked also. So the balance that was created was great. And coming to the performances, Vinay Fogt just blew my mind up. And oh my god, and I had just watched KKK. Like, compared to KKK, here, exceptional. Chaman Vinod also was great. Both of them. I think here, every actor just They were not even trying to outshine each other. They were just shining on their own. Like I said, even the smallest of the roles, the cameo which was done by Jojo George and Sobin Shahir, fantastic. Jafar Idduki, oh my goodness, what a transformation for Vinay Fort, because I just saw KKK, Vinay Fort, Jafar Idduki, both of them were there, and this is such like a bang opposite role that I'm watching them in such a short span of time. It just goes to show the amazing range of acting that these actors can display. It's incredible, so believable, so believable. It just, I completely forgot that I'm watching Vinay Fort, or I'm watching Chemban Vinod, or this is Jafar Idduki that I'm watching, or this is Jojo George. They are just so into their character. But for me, I think Vinay Fort was exceptionally good. Like everybody was great, but Vinay Fort just a bit above all others. That's just for me. The way he is this meek police, officer. He's not even an officer, I think, because Chemban, this sub inspector, and he's below him in grade. So, his body language when his superior is talking to him, he's trying to sort of investigate the eyes, the confused look, the scaredy look, and then when he completely transforms, that one scene where he looks into the mirror and that wicked jokerish type smile comes on his face. It's incredible. I loved his acting. He was my favorite in the film. So yes, overall a great viewing experience. Even though I need to probably watch a video where they have sort of explained the movie, or there is a movie breakdown theories and all. Has somebody made that video? Let me know, because I would love to watch that film. This is just with my first viewing, and I would love to read your theories also, so we can get different perspectives, and I'll understand. So let me know, what do you think of this film, this movie? Really, I would say that maybe not even if you are a fan of Lee Jojo's Periphery, maybe you would be a little critical of this movie, because this is something very out of the box, and this is just my third movie. I don't know how Angamali Diaries is or Double Barrel is, but at least if I just compare it with Jallikattu and Emayu, Jallikattu for me only was out of the box, but still I would say this was the most different out of three for me, and a lot of people might not really vibe with it, and but this is what I expect from a director like him. And not a lot of makers would dare to do a project like this. Wouldn't even think, they'll not even come into their brains that okay, I can probably formulate a story like this, and it's not possible. That this is my vision, this is how I want the story to be projected, and I think the screenplay was by S. Harish. So both of them, I would say, not a lot of people would even think of the storyline that okay, I'll formulate a movie like this, and this is what I'll present to the audience. The fact that he's doing it, I love it, absolutely I love it. So yes, that was the review for Churuli. I know this was a bit disorganized, like not how my all rest of the reviews are, but at least this is the best I can put out right now. Temporary replacement is coming in, yeah, hopefully by tonight only, so that I can at least get back to my regular schedule. But the reactions that I already shot, now see, I've already shot, I already watched the Hridayam teaser, so I'll let you know my thoughts on the teaser in a different video, just like this, so at least and if I hope I can recover all my data from that system, so I can maybe later put out that reaction video for you guys. So yes, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed this a little bit disorganized style of review. I'm really sorry, I apologize for that, but this is the best I could do at this moment right now. So yeah, with this I will end the video here, and share in your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you soon on my next video. Bye.